On this edition, I'm going to break down and predict the upcoming fight between Ronda Rousey and Sarah Kaufman. Now, this fight is going to be taking place August 18th in San Diego, and this is Ronda Rousey's first title defense in 135-pound weight class, obviously after defeating Miesha Tate in impressive fashion, really impressive fight. And this is also good for Sarah Kaufman because Sarah Kaufman's, a majority of people felt that Sarah Kaufman was entitled to the last title shot against Miesha Tate. Obviously, Rousey got the fight. Rousey defeated Miesha Tate. Now Sarah Kaufman's waiting in the wings, and Kaufman and Ronda Rousey are going to fight each other. And it's going to be a very exciting fight. You got a very big, powerful striker, very well-balanced mixed martial artist in Sarah Kaufman, and a grappling extraordinaire. So, and someone who's learning and trying to develop the striking in Ronda Rousey. Now, what I'm going to do in this video, I'm just going to break down both fighters. I'm going to do my predictions. So I'll start with Sarah Kaufman. Now, Sarah Kaufman only has one loss in her mixed martial arts career. That obviously coming to Marlis Kunin, and it was obviously by submission. But Sarah Kaufman is very well-balanced mixed martial arts, and her stand-up, in my honest opinion, is better than her ground game. Her stand-up, she is a very aggressive stand-up striker. She presses forward. She's got a very good chin. Sarah Kaufman's never been knocked out before. She's only been submitted. And she presses forward. She's a very dominant force. She's very big. She's very powerful. And she imposes her will on people. She pressures forward. She throws combinations. She's got very good combinations. And she has incredible knockout power. Sarah Kaufman has 10 knockouts on her resume. She likes to finish fights in the stand-up department. This also carries over into her ground game. But she really fights fearless on her feet. She presses forward. She lets the hands go. And then if she gets you close enough, she's going to get you in the clinch. She's going to impose her will, use her size. She's going to press you up against the cage. She can get you in the clinch. She's going to throw knees. And Sarah Kaufman works the body very well. And she likes, like I said, she likes to impose her will. She likes to press you up against the cage. She's going to beat you down. She's going to beat you in the stand-up department. And also in regards is that she strikes very well in the clinch. She's got good dirty boxing. She's got some good leg kicks also with a kickboxing background. But I think a very impressive part of her is her sprawl. She could sprawl and she could drop that. She's got good takedown defense. It'll be interesting to see how this fares against Ronda Rousey. Also, she can take down as well. She's a very strong and powerful fighter. She could take people down. She could beat them down. She's got good ground and pound. She could posture up. She wedges fighters' arms down and beats them down. She is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but Sarah Kaufman has never won a fight via submission. However, her submission defense is very formidable. So I think some pros and cons for Sarah Kaufman. Obviously, pros is definitely her chin, her striking, most definitely her experience. And I'd said her chin before. Her chin is battle-tested. We don't know what Ronda Rousey's chin's like. It is not battle-tested just yet. But Sarah Kaufman is most definitely a battle-tested chin. Experience is a big factor. Her size is a big factor. So those are the pros for Sarah Kaufman. So cons for Sarah Kaufman, I'd say her speed. She's not as explosive as Ronda Rousey. And I know Ronda Rousey is new to the mixed martial arts game, but I'm going to say that Sarah Kaufman has a grappling disadvantage in this fight simply because of Ronda Rousey's talent in the grappling department. So that's why in regards to Sarah Kaufman, where I see her being successful in this fight, I think if she could keep this fight standing and keep her distance from Ronda Rousey and try and knock out Ronda Rousey, I think that would be her best bet. I would not try and get a grappling match with Ronda Rousey. It would just not be the smart idea. So I would keep it standing, keep my distance, press forward, but not get too close to get into Ronda Rousey's clinch. That thing is a web, and you're going to go for a ride. That's just how it works. So I'll take Sarah Kaufman being successful in the stand-up department. So Ronda Rousey. Now, Ronda Rousey has taken the WMMA scene by force, obviously backing up a lot of her talk with some outstanding fighting. Now, obviously, she's training with Cesar Gracie and the Diaz brothers. This is going to do wonders for her stand-up, but it's going to take some time. She's a developing striker, but she's a student of the game. She's very committed to the game of mixed martial arts, and her hands are coming a long way. Will they be as good as Sarah Kaufman's come fight time? Absolutely not. Over time, though, we will see a different Ronda Rousey in the octagon. But the thing about Ronda Rousey in the stand-up department as well is that she's fearless, and she likes to close the gap. She is aggressive, and once you play into her hand, she's going to get a hold of you. And with her outstanding judo background, she's a very well-decorated judo practitioner, obviously training. She practiced in the Olympics. She fought in the Olympics. She was very successful there. If she gets a hold of you, Ronda Rousey will slam you down to the ground. We've seen it countless times. We've seen her do it even to Miesha Tate, considered one of the better grapplers in WMMA. You know, she's going to get a hold of you, she's going to slam you, she's going to sweep your leg, and then when she gets you down the ground, she makes very quick work. Ronda Rousey has won every single one of her fights by submission, every single one of her fights by submission in the first round, and she makes quick work of her opponent. She goes right for the armbar. That is her bread and butter. And she's starting to develop ground and pound. She's very tenacious when she's on the ground. I think the most impressive thing about Ronda Rousey on the ground is her advancement of guard and her ground control. She flipped off the cage when Miesha Tate had her neck, technically in a guillotine. She used the cage and pivoted off of it and went into a different type of guard. It's just her advancing of guard is out of this world. Her ground control is out of this world. It's just a question of how her technique matches against Sarah Kaufman's size. So I think that'll be an interesting factor. But Ronda Rousey's submission game is only going to continue to get better training with the Diaz brothers. Very, very outstanding Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners. So pros and cons for Ronda Rousey. Pros are most definitely her grappling and her submission ability. I also think her tenacity and aggressiveness in the clinch and just in the stand-up department. She's very confident as well. She's confident. She's fearless. Cons for Ronda Rousey is definitely her striking. She's nowhere near the striker that Sarah Kaufman is. And I want to say that her chin is not battle-tested yet. She could take a hit from Sarah Kaufman. She could go down. But we have never seen really Ronda Rousey's back against the wall. I mean, we've seen Miesha Tate bring her in a grappling match, but you know, we haven't seen Ronda Rousey's chin get truly tested. And I don't want to say Ronda Rousey's one-dimensional. She's a very skilled grappler. Her striking's coming a long way. But let's say her grappling doesn't work against Sarah Kaufman. I'm not saying that, but let's say it doesn't work. What is she going to fall on after that? Her striking versus Sarah Kaufman's striking. So I just think Sarah Kaufman is the more dynamic and has more weapons in her arsenal, but Ronda Rousey does have that one very powerful weapon. So where I see Ronda Rousey being successful, there's no doubt about this one. Ronda Rousey needs to test Sarah Kaufman's grappling, get her down to the ground, and win this fight via submission. Just beat her down, try and lock in the submission, get the arm, get the rear naked choke, wherever you can find it necessary, and win this fight via submission. So that's where I see Ronda Rousey being successful. Where my prediction lies in this fight, I see Sarah Kaufman coming out. I see her being smart with her range. I see her trying to pick her spots and landing the strikes, coming forward combinations, and trying to match Rousey's grappling with heavy strikes and volume striking. But I see Ronda Rousey eating a couple. I see Ronda Rousey getting close enough to Kaufman. I see her slamming her down to the ground, and I see this one happening just like we saw it. Obviously, Marlos Kunin defeated Sarah Kaufman via armbar, and Kunin's a very skilled submission expert. But you know what? Ronda Rousey's right up there as well. I see Ronda Rousey getting this fight down to the ground and winning this fight via armbar. Second round. I want to say first round. Ronda Rousey continues the streak of winning fights in the first round. So obviously, Sarah Kaufman's going to put up a good fight, but I see Ronda Rousey getting this down to the ground and winning it via armbar, and I see Ronda Rousey defending her title for the first time at the Strikeforce event on August 18th, and remaining the champion in the 135-pound weight class. And that's what I have for this edition. It's Kyle Delaney signing off. I'm out of here.